Because this is a microorganism.
That's right.
We have no previous exposure to this virus.
That's right.
So this is all things are new for us.
That's right.
How to manage this patient, how to treat,
That's right.
how to protect the others from this disease.
Right.
So with passage of time, alhamdulillah, we are treating patients actively and the patient are recovered, and the more than 1 lakh patient has been recovered from this disease.
Yes.
And the
We will say the 100 days of COVID-19 is over, and mostly 1 million people of Pakistan has been recovered from COVID-19. The topic we're going to discuss about the significance of the kit. So I'm going to take you straight to the topic. I'm going to ask from Dr. Farhan about the significance of the testing kits to detect the COVID-19. Dr. Farhan, my first question. Tell me in a simple words, what is the significance of the testing kit?
Okay, as COVID-19 is a respiratory disease,
Right.
we need some special test
Yeah.
to diagnose this disease.
Right.
So there are special tests for the diagnosis in the early stage, like a patient have a symptoms of the fever, cough, myalgias.
Right.
And on the first day of these symptoms, we can diagnose the disease through PCR.
Right.
That is the real-time PCR polymerase chain reaction.
Okay.
This test shows the quantity and the quality of a virus.
Right.
So there are two types of these tests: quantitative and qualitative.
Right.
The quantitative shows number
Right.
of virus,
Right.
that is in millions, in millions, 1 ml or 1 cc.
Right.
So, and that's the qualitative shows that the virus is present or not present.
Right.
So only detect
So we're going to detect it by the qualitative and a
or
quantitative.
quantitative.
Okay.
So, but in our setup, we're using only the qualitative test.
Okay.
Because the cost of this test is very much
Right.
high cost.
Okay.
So patient cannot afford this expensive test.
Right.
The only qualitative test indicates the virus is present in the body or
Right.
not present.
Okay.
So we can see any report. There's a mention detected
Right.
or not detected.
Okay.
Detected means test is positive for virus.
Right.
There is a virus in the body.
Okay.
And not detected means there is no virus in the body and patient is free from the coronavirus.
So they're going to detect. So they're going to detect as a negative.
As an active. Not detected means negative.
Right. So the viewers, for the detection, it will show us about the positive, right? And if it is not detected, it will be declared as a negative. On your behalf, viewers, I'm going to ask a very interesting question to Dr. Farhan right now, because he's a front warrior for the COVID patients. Dr. Farhan, you know, I've seen some of the patients, they said suspected,
Yes.
right? And some they got confirmed positive, some got confirmed negative, and sometimes the kit goes for repeat. Have you seen this experience
Yes,
before?
yes.
Okay.
So, suspected are those. Basically, initially we label the patient as a exposed patient,
Okay.
confirmed patient,
Right.
and that's a treated patient.
That's right.
Suppose one patient has a symptoms
Okay.
and confirm on the basis of diagnosis. These is confirmed
Right.
case.
Right.
And these patients exposed to the other patients, other normal persons. So those have no symptoms, but exposure with the confirmed disease patient is considered as a carrier phase.
Okay.
Because this virus has 2 to 14 days of incubation period.
That's right.
Suppose me, I exposed to a confirmed case of COVID.
Okay.
So I have no symptom till 2 to 14 days.
Right.
Because virus enter into my body and then replicate in the body.
Okay.
And when there is the level of virus load reaches some specific limit,
Right.
then the symptoms appear in the body. So this period is known as the incubation period. There is a no symptom, but the patient have a virus in the body. They can transmit.
I'll hold you here, Dr. Farhan. One quick thing came in mind. I'm going to ask with the share with the viewers. Viewers, I'm going to ask one more question from Dr. Farhan. Might be, and you have to share this views and your comments with me after this program. For example, if the first 7 days the patient has no symptoms and he or she might think, let's have a corona test, and he or she detected as a negative, but after 8th day, on the 8th day, he or she, if you go to the again, might be go for the test again, might be going to get test for a positive. So this is the phenomena, or the what you can say, the confusion came through. That's I need to clear from the Dr. Farhan. That's the first 7 days the patient has no symptoms and he or she went for do the test and they shows as a negative. But on the 8th day, the symptoms get through again and they're going to do a negative, the positive test. So that's the confusion I'm going to ask Dr. Farhan.
Yes.
Dr. Farhan,
so that's,
point?
This is basically incubation periods.
Right.
And this patient, average incubation period time is 2 to 14. In some people, there is 2 days post-exposure to a specific patient or confirmation.
That's right.
And there's some patient to the 14 days. So these 2 to 14 days, the patient has no symptoms. And the mostly patient goes to a labs or other test areas and give a test.
That's
and
right.
the test become a negative. Because the reason behind is the virus load is less in the body. So after the incubation period, 2 to 14 days, then after the 14 days, completion of the 14 days, the symptoms appear in the body.
Dr. Farhan, you will explain the percentage of this testing kit right now or later?
Later, I will discuss.
Okay, so my next question is, as you explained, the sub-term called PCR,
Yes.
right? For the viewers, they are not well known about the PCR. Can you please explain what is PCR and its significance?
Okay. Basically, we detect a virus load, number of virus in the body.
Okay.
This is the this is a respiratory disease.
That's right.
So the virus enter into the body through the nose or through the mouth.
Right.
And retain in the nasal area or throat and then into the lung.
Right.
So the PCR test, basically this is the test, the method how to take a sample.
That's right.
So this is a basically wooden stick
Right.
containing a cotton,
Yeah.
and that's the area of nasal area.
That's
because the viruses are present in the nasal
That's
area,
right.
and the other is the pharyngeal area. That's the oral cavity or the throat.
That's right.
So,
So if for example, if I did the test of the COVID, they put the nasal stuff in my nose
nose,
or the throat, right?
yes, both
Right. Okay.
Both.
So do you have to do the test both?
sides.
Okay, both
Yes.
sides. Okay, that's fine.
Both sides, because that's a virus load is high in the nasal and the pharyngeal and the throat area, basically.
Right. Okay.
So these are the highest level of virus in the first 7 days of symptoms.
Right.
Symptoms mean there is a fever, myalgias, body pain, fatigue,
Okay.
थकावट जिसे कहते हैं आम दौरान.
So you trying to say that PCR is a reliable test to detect COVID-19?
Yes. Now, we have a limited options for the diagnosis of the COVID-19
Right.
because this is a novel disease.
Okay.
We have no specific type of investigation tools available in the entire world, not in Pakistan.
Right.
So the PCR test is basically sensitivity of only 60 to 70%. So we perform test in the 100 patients.
Okay.
Only 6 to 70 patient will be positive, and remaining 40% patient will be negative. So because there is a sensitive. The reason behind this, because the sensitivity, viral load, and also the method, skill, techniques, transportation of the sample to the lab, and how to take sample techniques, and also performing the test.
So the thing which I can see just right now, how to take the sample, it is important. Number one,
yes.
testing kit has to be reliable. Two,
Yes.
and number three, when the 100 patient test going to be in the machine, it's going to take 6 to 8 hours or maybe 24 hours. It's going to get the results. So we try to say, like that, me and you, that if the tests, the kits, I mean, it's not 100% accurate.
Exact. 600%. Mean accuracy means sensitivity. On the other hand, is a test is accurate, but
Okay.
sensitivity peak depending upon the techniques, transportation, because that's a simple transportation requires a minus centigrade
Yes.
cold
Yes.
cold chain.
Cold chain.
If the cold chain break, the sample will
Exactly. So might be going to detect positive.
yes.
Yes.
And similarly,
Because in Europe and other countries, I've seen there's some special bands with the chillers, like
Exactly.
the minus 10, minus 16 temperature in this, and the frozen sample's going to go inside, and they could take to the lab or to the pathology labs, right?
Exactly.
But this facility is lacking nowadays. Do you think that?
no, it's present, but maybe there is the skill issues or technique issues,
Right.
and another point of view that may be the skill issues. But this is not the specifically in the Pakistan problem in the Pakistan, but this is also problem in the entire world. The world also facing this problem,
Right,
because
Dr. Farhan, as the world is facing this common pandemic, as we are facing, this 100 days of COVID-19 is over in
Over.
Pakistan. My next question is a very important question for the viewers. I think you have observed this experience already. That why the attendance of the patients complain that their tests are negative, right? But they are still in COVID ward. Viewers, the experiences might be you or your relatives or your loved ones might be heard over this scene that the patient have a negative test, but they still be in a COVID ward. Let me ask Dr. Farhan again about this vital issue on this. Yeah.
yes, as I have already discussed, the sensitivity of the PCR is the only 60 to 70% in
Right.
throughout the world.
Right.
And the point is, we are not focusing on the PCR test nowadays.
Okay.
We are focusing on the patient's symptoms. If patient have features of fever, high grade fever,
Okay.
more than 99 Fahrenheit to 103 Fahrenheit temperature, along with body aches, pain, fatigue,
Right.
along with cough,
Okay.
then we have suspected these patients are COVID, because the reason is this is the pandemic situation.
That's right.
So every fever with feature of COVID like,
Right.
then we're considering this as a COVID-19. We consider, and for this thing we are performing a different type of test, which
Right.
indicate that this patient is from suffering from the COVID disease,
Right.
because there are the
babies, the future of Pakistan. Let's go back to the Dr. Farhan and the topic, because the time's running out of our program. We have to conclude the program. The very vital question I'm going to ask right now, and the viewers' demand. On the viewers' demand, I'm asking this question right now. Dr. Farhan, rumors about the patients with the chronic diseases having corona as well. Just think that, okay?
Yes.
They're declared as a corona death. That means, if I need to talk in Urdu, मैं उसको समझाना चाहूँ व्यूअर्स के लिए कि क्या कहते हैं कि जिनको पुरानी बीमारी होती है उनको कोरोना डिक्लेयर करके डेथ को शामिल कर लिया जाता है. So that rumors are in Pakistan at the moment. So can you please specify this?
Yes. Basically, corona disease mainly affect those peoples which have comorbids like hypertension, diabetes, ischemic heart disease, stroke, and asthma or COPD, chronic obstructive pulmonary disease. These patients have already immunocompromised, have low immunity. So these are the vulnerable age group, or similarly with comorbids, or
That's
similarly the patient over the 60 years of age.
Okay.
So these patients have already low immunity. Any disease can attack these patients. So
Yeah. Okay. So the thing which I've conceived from the Dr. Farhan, that if the patient is hypertension or a lungs patient or a kidney patient or a diabetes patient, if he or she affected by a COVID, might be if they're gonna die, so they will declare as a corona patient. Doesn't matter they got a chronic disease in the past.
Yes, because we are treating these patients, we are treating the presenting features in the background of the COVID, in the background of any disease, comorbid condition.
Dr. Farhan, your 30 seconds, I need that.
Yes. Any patient presenting with a history of in the past hypertension, diabetes, and presenting now with a feature of fever, myalgia, cough, shortness of breath, difficulty in breathing,
That's right.
and their remaining tests in the favor of the COVID, then we're treating these patients as a COVID
Last
disease.
10 seconds from you.
Yes.
The efforts from the government to deal with this pandemic are enough, yes or no?
Yes, enough efforts from the government, because we are the third world country.
Okay.
We have already economical issues.
That's right.
The government is handling this situation
Right.
very effectively.
That's right. To some extent.
Yes, to some, because that's due to the economical issue.
Because I've just talked to Dr. Rabi and he said that the things are not enough, but what I'm saying it is to some extent.
Yes, there's in the Islamabad and in the peripheral areas, government is doing a very good job just for providing the things, providing the PPEs,
That's
similarly providing the different type of medicines, and the ventilatory support is also available in the patients. We should appreciate.
Thank you very much, Dr. Farhan. Viewers, Dr. Rabia Kamal and Dr. Farhan gave us a very fantabulous ideas, tips, and the history of PCR significance and how to protect the pregnant women. Viewers, the positive things has to be appreciated. Prime Minister Imran Khan vision is coming forward. It's coming through. The people are observing it, but we have to appreciate the positive things. Two things from this program I have concluded. Number one, the COVID 100 days are over. And number two, be positive, stay safe, Pakistan. Long live Pakistan. Signing off, Ray Shams.
जब छांव धूप में बदलेगी, जब गरीब के घर का चूल्हा बुझेगा, जब इंसाफ एक मुश्किल पहेली बन जाए, जब तालीम और रोजगार आम आदमी के लिए नायाब हो जाएगा, तब मेरे मुल्क के हर एक कोने से एक ही आवाज आएगी, ये तो होगा।